All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the very last advocacy days of 2024. Thank you for joining us today. We are talking about what can you do now? My name is Tanika. I am one of your co-hosts for the day. I am a mom to a 10-year-old who is on the spectrum, and I work for PAVE. I am an African-American woman. My hair is in a big fro. I have on some hoops, some very 70-esque, and I have on a blue blazer for you today. And I'm sitting in front of a blurred out screen. And with me, I have my co-host, Taylor, all the way from the other side of the state. How are you doing, Taylor?
I am doing good. I cannot believe it's the last advocacy day for the session. Although we have one more week of session after this, but I can't believe it's finally coming to an end. But yeah, thank you, Tanika, today. And also you look really beautiful today. I love the outfit and the fro, looking snazzy. My name is everyone. My name is Taylor Crisp. I live all the way in Spokane County and work for the ARC of Spokane. I am also a parent of a kiddo who has a variety of intellectual disabilities, and I'm a self-advocate myself with autism on the spectrum. My pronouns are she, her, and I am sitting in front of a blurred screen as well. My hair is tied back, and I'm just kind of wearing a blue and white cozy sweater today, and I probably missed something, but it's the last advocacy day. So we'll just have a kind of laid back day, but also be serious at the same time. And we should all be celebrating our hard work for the session here. So let's kick it off today with just kind of the overview of topic and kind of where we're headed.
All
All
right.
right. Good morning. Yeah, here we are. The last advocacy day. This is so exciting, and there's been so much that's happening. And today's topic is, let's see, here we go. What can you do now? And I took a step back to think about, what are the things that we need to think about going forward? So during a legislative session, there's always like really happy things that happen, really good things. We've made progress. And then there's also, some disappointments. And, but I think about what it is. Sometimes it's good to take a step back and think about the big picture. And we think about, what is it that our families and our individuals with disabilities need? And, what are the things that we need to be telling legislators kind of in the off session? So I kind of thought about, it's like what we need to be telling them is about our lives and the different parts of our lives and how, that folks need supports across their lifespan. Because sometimes I think legislators don't get it. It's like, well, if we've done one thing or we've done this thing for you, but they don't get that this is a lifelong disability, and they really need to be thinking about all the different places. And so I thought about the different kind of areas, and it's not like a complete list, but I thought, if you're asking legislators where they can support us, support our supports and services, so that we can folks can live good lives, that there's that coverage across the lifespan. And that covers a whole bunch of stuff, right? All the stuff we're talking about, all the things. And then thinking about our education system, how impactful that is, that what we really want is to ensure that our schools are inclusive and accessible and equitable for children, so they get the education that they need. And then workforce. Okay, this is a big deal right now. We need investments in, for increased rates so that people will want to work in this field. We need training for people who work in this field. We need professional development to help build robust. What we really need is this robust workforce so that we can have needs met and that we get quality care and support. And then lastly, I was thinking about housing, because that's kind of its own thing out there, that we need affordable, accessible housing. And it needs to be safe, and in places that we can access it. That report about priced out, I think many of you have seen that, talks about, people living on SSI can't afford housing in any housing market in the United States. When you make $946 a month, you can't afford housing anywhere. And so when you go out and you go forth from this session and talking to your friends and your neighbors and your legislators, I think our friends and neighbors often don't know about our lives. So talk about those things, tell your stories, talk about these things that we need. So that when we come back next session, that we hopefully will have more informed communities and legislators. Okay, I'm going to stop talking and let's move on.
Right. Next up, I think we are gonna have budget updates, right? Is that correct?
Do that.
Yeah, awesome.
Let's see. Oh, I moved that to the wrong place. How about we have Kyle and Eric first? I think I put that in the wrong order. Sorry. And I'll stop sharing.
All right, Kyle and Eric, kick it off.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Eric Mathis. I'm happy to be here. Today I will be talking about a few bills and a couple of thoughts about something else. And all right. On the 1541, the Nothing About Us Without Us Act, it is important to have people with direct lived experience involved in the legislative process when it affects our lives. This bill will affect lives like myself and others. That means you. All.
That's only
Examples. DDA, Developmental Disability Administration, helps them to decide how to do person-centered planning. This bill will bring a lot of people to meetings so they can participate and bring in different ideas. That's all of us, of course. Yay. It's not just for people with disabilities, it's for all lived groups like the BIPOC community, the farming community, the LGBTQAI plus community, people with low income, and on a couple of bills on 2114 and 2276. Bills are regarding affordable housing to not only give more rights to renters, but to build up the housing in Washington state that we call our home. We aren't sure these bills will pass this year, but we won't stop fighting or advocating for them until they do. We need more accessible housing that have accommodations people need. We also need landlords to be more on top of maintenance requests and so on. We also need a lot more housing everywhere and by public transportation. And out of all the advocacy days in a whole that I have been involved with, I'm just so glad to be a part of one great family of people that are very supportive, that sees all of that in each advocacy day. From when I started attending them back in 2008, when I got involved with a lot of things. Really enjoyed all of that. And that really means a lot. And also I just really enjoy all of the support from all of you, colleagues and coworkers. Um, I want to share an experience to someone that is here today. That we all know as a great advocate, friend, has a great influence on me and on others. Diane Staton. Thank you,
Eric,
for your hard dedication. You're amazing. There's no words to explain how awesome and epic you are. Thank you for just being you. I'm done.
thank you, Eric. I have to tell you, Eric, you've made a profound difference in my life too. Getting to know you and watch you as you've grown, and you've just come so far. You stand out and you stand up and you speak for yourself, and you help others learn how to speak for themselves. And from gosh, 20 years ago when I first met you, you were just this shy young man who didn't talk a whole lot. But we've worked together on so many pieces of legislation, and you've, worked on learning how to testify in hearings. And legislators know who you are, Eric, because you've done that. You're the one who said, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to speak for myself and I'm going to help others speak for themselves. I'm just so proud of you, Eric, and you should be so proud of yourself for how far you've come. Sorry.
You're fine. And I love you as a friend, a colleague, and someone that reaches out to a lot of great advocates. And I really enjoyed the support that you have given me for past advocacy days in the previous years when working with me with that. And that was one of the best times.
Well, thank you, Eric, and thank you to so many people out here and more who couldn't be here today. And I'm not going away completely. This
Right.
is,
So instead of, yeah,
I'm
instead of saying,
excited and I'm
yeah.
sad, because this is the last advocacy day that I will participate in running. But I know that I leave you in great hands with Kathy Murahashi. She's already stepped up this year and done so much, and just made this a wonderful year of advocacy days. And so I feel very confident leaving this now that it's in her hands.
Diana.
As most of you know, I've been doing this for over 20 years. Margaret Lee Thompson is here. She was one of my very early on mentors, helping give me that bug, that passion for advocacy, that I couldn't stay away from it. And today, I'm going to be sharing some things. I have a Advocacy 101 presentation that many of you have seen before. But some of the things I'm going to talk about are a little bit more than that. I have to say, when I first got involved in this, my son, David, who is autistic, was only about 7 years old. And I remember when I first started learning about what happens at the legislature, and there was a bill that was being worked on that year about harassment and bullying in the schools. And my son David had been bullied. He was in first grade, and he didn't have very much in the way of social cues or social skills. And he was out one day on the playground, and the kids just all kind of run around and chase each other and play on the playground. And two little boys started chasing him, and he thought they wanted to play with him. And so he was laughing and running away until one of the boys grabbed him by his jacket and threw him face down on the ground. And I got called to school, obviously. The whole side of his face was all red from being raked across the asphalt stuff there. And so I went to the legislature and I signed in to testify on this bill about bullying. And I was amazed that legislators, a lot of time they sit up there on their computers and they're not paying a lot of attention to people when they talk. But I had a picture of what David's face looked like that day when I brought him home. And I showed that picture to legislators, and I told them about what had happened and how our kids and the teachers needed more education about how to prevent bullying from happening to kids like mine. And there were other young people who talked about how it affected them in that hearing. And that bill passed that year. And that was so empowering for me. I couldn't believe all I had to do was just talk about what happened and have other people join me in talking about what had happened with their lives around this issue. And that then the legislature would change the laws for the better. And so that was a huge, big boost to me of why I needed to be involved. And here we are today, 20 years later, and I'm passing the baton on, so to speak, and hoping that you guys will take the things that you've learned and continue to move forward, continue to teach other people, because we have a whole new group of young people coming up behind us. And they need to be educated and they need to be empowered. And so I really hope that you guys can take that to heart. Keep working, use your voices, use your words on paper or use your social media. However it is you get your message out, just keep doing it.
For
I'm
those,
gonna,
I forget that saying that you always said, but that always catches me every time. Sorry to interrupt.
no, that's okay, Eric. Like I said, I'm not going away. You're still
That's
going to
right,
be
I
hearing
know.
from me.
I hear you.
It's great.
Okay, I do want to share a little presentation here.
You have one more. Sorry, I was out due to because my internet had flaws, but I have some mine's part as well. Just to let you know.
Oh, did you need to go first, Kyle?
You can go right ahead, Diane, since you have this up. And
Okay.
then Kyle will speak.
Okay, so what can you do now? Where's your advocacy going to lead you to from here on? Just like me, I'm not going to stop. I'm moving in a different direction, but I'm not going to stop advocating. And so I don't expect any of you to stop either. So where can you start out? Some people haven't ever advocated before, and so they don't quite know what to do. And one of the very first things that's good is to get out and get around others who do advocate. That's why advocacy days are so great, because you can meet other people, and you can meet people who have already learned how to advocate and wanted to help teach you, or you meet new people who need to learn from someone, and so you can teach them. So just getting out and around other people, whether it's in person, whether it's on Zoom, whether it's through social media. You can also do it, where you work or where you volunteer at. If you volunteer at a food bank, think of all those people that you could influence and advocate for and help them learn how to stand up for themselves, because I'm sure there's so much they need as well. But more than anything else, you have to vote. You can't sit back and not vote and then complain about the changes that aren't happening. It's very important, and try and learn. Don't just vote for somebody because their name sounds good. If you don't know how to find out more about candidates, ask others. And the Arc of Washington is a good place, because Kathy will be doing questionnaires for the candidates and asking them like 4 questions to see what their stance is on disability issues. And then she'll post those on the ARC website, and you can have people help you go through and sort through the people running in your area and learn about which one's going to best represent what you want. And so many legislators are on social media. It's not called Twitter anymore. Oh, X, changed the name. Still, it was Twitter all the years I've done it. Facebook, Instagram. There's a whole lot of different ways that people choose to communicate now. And it's good to use all of those tools. You get all those tools piled in the toolbox. You don't want them to just sit there. They'll rust. You got to use them. So, what are you going to work on? What are you going to talk about? The first thing is, if you have a personal story, and I know each and every one of you do, you want to focus on that story, because it's something that you're going to be the most passionate about, because it's what you know, it's what you've lived, just like the Nothing About Us Without Us bill. Talk about what you know. You're the person who has lived your life, and you know the most about how these issues affect you, and they have affected you. And so you're the person who can bring the most passion around your story. And be honest about it. Just share. It doesn't matter, as you saw with me and Eric, if it brings out a few tears when you talk about it. That's okay. I don't know how many times I've testified in front of legislators about a personal issue, or about an issue I know is personal to many people. And, a few tears came out, but every one of them paid attention during that testimony. They weren't writing on their computers. The people who go there and talk about their story with passion and open themselves up to be honest about things that have happened in their lives, those are the people they pay attention to. Those lobbyists who go in there and get paid $5,000 an hour or whatever to get legislators to vote for their company's legislation, those aren't the ones they listen to the most. It's you guys, you and your lived experience, your emotions, your feelings. That's what they want to hear about. And, sometimes it takes talking with others to really feel out, what do you need to talk about in your story most? Unfortunately, a lot of times in testimony, they give you like a minute or a minute and a half. And that's not near enough to talk of all the things that we'd like to. So sometimes you got to narrow it down. And if you have a bigger story and you need to get more of it out there, there are people like Kathy at the Ark or like Sean and Jessica at Sale. There are people who will help you write up testimony that you could submit. And then you get more information out to them. So when you're talking about it, like at a SAIL meeting or at a parent coalition meeting, first of all, it's giving you some practice to talk about what's important to you, but you also find out about a lot of other people who probably feel the same way. But, it's not just enough to talk about your story. When you're talking about it in groups, find out what others need. Other people have similar stories, and you may need one thing to address your perspective of it, but maybe somebody else has a very similar story, but they need something different a little bit. It all is where our perspective is coming from. So I really encourage you, that's a big part of how you work on these issues, is you talk with other people. You learn from other people. And you bring together what you need and what they need. And you take it all to the legislature, because they're the ones who can make the big difference in our public policy. But they can't do it if they don't know what the problems are. One of the things that way back when, 20 years ago, when I first started this, at Advocacy Day every week, there was practice time. There was self-advocates and there was parents, and they'd get up and practice with somebody else. Oh, okay, I'm the constituent, you're the legislature. How am I gonna talk to you? What am I gonna say? And for a lot of people, that's scary who've never done it before. And so it takes practicing things over and over before you feel comfortable. And that practice is a big thing we've kind of lost over the years. COVID hasn't helped, of course, when everything became virtual, but we're going back now to picking things up in person. And so whether it's at a SAIL meeting, taking time every month to practice how you would talk to a legislator about, a specific bill, to get them on board with what you need from the legislature, but also gives you practice saying what you need. Legislators, just like us, they get up every morning and tie their shoes and put their socks on just like we do. They're just people, but they're people who can help you to make a difference. So I would encourage the self-advocates, the parents, and even providers to bring that practice back. It gives you experience talking with somebody else. No, they're not the legislator, but you can pretend they are and get yourself some experience and practice doing those role play. Maybe you're going to take your child as a parent, take your small child with you to advocate and talk to the legislator. Well, that's good to practice too. And for parents who may not be able to bring their son or daughter with them, always bring a photograph and say, this is who I am here advocating for. And if you don't know enough about your issue, say there's a new bill and you don't know a lot about it, ask people. There's plenty of people willing to teach you about legislative issues, both at parent coalitions, at self-advocate meetings, provider get-togethers. You get feedback from other people as you're practicing. And they, because we used to give out tips all the time, like, don't ever talk about a legislator in the bathroom. They might be in the stall next to you and hear you. And, kind of things like that we have kind of lost over the years. Just a little bit, because the budget is the only thing that the legislature has to pass. They don't have to pass any bills. They do that because it's good to change policy for their constituents when they find there's an issue. But that budget is the number one thing that they have to have passed. Now, our legislative session this year, ends in another week or so on March 7th. And that's when we have what they call a sine die. It's forever and a day, because it means they're going to come back again next year. So after this, as we move into the springtime, I hear there's snow coming again next week. So we're not there yet, but hopefully spring will come. And so the governor tells all of the state agencies, including the Developmental Disabilities Administration, to put together a decision package. He says, okay, we're probably going to have this much money to spend next year. Now, it may be more than what they're expecting, or he may know they're going to have to make cuts. And so he lets them know, here's your budget amount. You need to tell me, how do you want to spend it? So the state agencies, including DDA, they work all summer on their budget, their decision packages. And then by the fall, the governor's got to figure out how he's going to spend money and what to put in his budget proposal. And he goes a large portion by what those agencies provide to him. And then by the middle of December, the governor has to release his budget proposal. And it's there for the legislature to take a look at when they come back into session next January. And they'll look at this budget of his, and they'll let the public weigh in and say what they like about it and what they don't like about it. So there again is your chance to advocate. Make sure that first couple days of legislative session, know they're going to have a hearing on the governor's budget, and be ready to testify and say what you like and what you don't like. And the ARC and SAIL will both have budget charts to show you what was in the governor's budget, and there you can decide what you like in it and what you don't like in it. And Kathy, I can't see, if there's hands raised or anything. So if you could let me know if you do see those, please.
Okay.
So who are you going to reach out to? Well, first of all, we know you're going to reach out to state legislators. But how can you reach out to them? You can go and meet with them in their offices. Once legislative session is over, they're going to go back to their home offices, which are by where you live. And so you can meet with them at their home offices too. Do you know you can invite them into your home? You can ask for them to come to your house, your apartment, wherever you live, and you can invite friends that live in that district too. And you can have a little group get together at your house and meet with your legislators and talk with them a little more personally about things that are important to you. And a lot of times legislators, when they're talking directly with their constituents and they have a little bit of more time to do it off session, not during session, and they listen to you talk, and then they say, do you think we need a bill about that? And then they may start a bill in the next legislature to address your concerns. So inviting them to your house, inviting them out to coffee, whatever feels comfortable to you. And whether you want to meet with them just on person or with a group, that's all up to you. That's how you reach out and get them to hear you. And this doesn't go for just our state legislators. Congressional reps have a lot to do with us too. And this is where you start learning. Other groups can help you figure it out. Where our issues at the statewide level intersect with the ones at the federal level. So remember when we did the employment subminimum wage? And we wanted to get that passed here in our state, didn't we? And we did get it passed. And then what did they start doing is looking at the federal level, because they need that same legislation there. And with every level, thing that becomes important here at home in our state, it's likely important to other people in other states too. Restraints and seclusion. We still haven't got that bill passed here, but they still haven't got it passed at the federal level either. The Keeping All Students Safe Act. So they need to hear your voices, not just here in our state, that is really needed to protect students, but your congresspersons also need to hear that from you. They need to know that is not just here at home, but federally would really help us to get those issues addressed here at home.
Diana,
And-
Rob has a question. I'm sorry to
Sure,
interrupt.
nope, go ahead.
Robert Cordell.
I want to thank you, Diane, for helping me throughout. You taught me everything, and I'm still learning piece by piece with setting an appointment with two representatives and Senator Conway, but I know I got to do better with the federal people as well. Maybe I can ask somebody who can help me write a letter to
Yeah, I'm not
my
sure which district you're in, Robert.
29th.
No, that's your state district. For congressional, it's a different number.
It's number 10.
Okay, so yeah, I'm sure that Sean at Sale can help you with getting appointments set up. Because for Sean, that's a big piece of what he is trying to do, is help self-advocates get connected to their legislators. So make sure you talk to Sean after this.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be happy to help you, Robert. And we do have some opportunities coming up in the near future.
All right, no problem.
Good. Keep at it, Robert, because you never stop learning. I don't stop learning. I learn new things every day too. I don't think, and especially because things change constantly and evolve, I don't think any of us have ever learned everything we need to know. So I just thought I'd share some quick tips. And if some of you have tips too that you think about, like the bathroom thing, and same in an elevator, you don't want to talk about a legislator in an elevator full of people, because that legislator may be in that elevator, or they may be in the bathroom stall next to you. So be very careful what you say about people. And sometimes it's not too easy, but we need to keep our cool and stay calm when we're in meetings, because oftentimes these issues, because we get so passionate about them, they affect us in such a strong way that it's good to get passionate about it. But you don't want to get aggressive or disrespectful or anything like that. You got to try and keep your cool and keep calm in those meetings so that they listen to what you have to say and they're not thinking about how you're acting. And as Robert was just saying, he still has more to learn. So do I, so do every one of you. And one thing we've forgotten over the years, I guess, is we listen to people so that we can respond to them. So as they get done talking, we start talking. But it's really important that we go back to listening to learn. Does that make sense to people? When you're listening to somebody talk about how they feel or what they might think might work, we need to stop and think and learn from what people said. So remember that, listen to learn and don't just listen to respond. Sometimes we have to take baby steps as we are going through the legislative process every year. Things just don't happen completely the way we want them to. Now, years ago, when I first started in this, and we had all these residential rehabilitation centers, and so many people were being put in them. And I wanted that to change. And you know what? Over the years of my doing advocacy, it has changed. There used to be another one, Francis Haddon Morgan Center, and there actually were some deaths that happened because of mistakes made there. And we got that closed. And we started building up our community so that people could live in the community instead of having to go to an RHC, the residential rehabilitation centers. You know what's another big thing that has changed? When I first started advocacy, they were putting little kids in these state institutions. 7-year-old kids being sent off to an institution to live, not being able to be in their community and live around their family and friends. But you know what? That changed. We no longer put children in institutions in this state. Now, they've kind of found another way around that by shipping them out of state, kids that are in school, but we're working on that too. And I expect you to keep your voice going, that we need to have the services in place in the community for these kids and not be sending them out of state. Yes, there's a lot of things, great things that have changed. And there's a lot of stuff that still needs to change. But that's why we advocate. And it's why we bring up people behind us and teach them and educate them about how to advocate. because it just doesn't end. We don't get everything fixed and okay, we're done, we go home, no more. Nope. Every year there is more to look at, more to advocate for. So don't give up. Things do change. And sometimes you may need to help yourself just stand back and look at what has changed in the time you've been advocating. I know there's a lot of great things. We had an autism task force for our state that made a lot of changes for families who had kids with autism and for adults with autism. We have a lot more, how do I want to say it? People are involved, like in SAIL, self-advocates and leadership. There are a lot of people now that are involved with that group. Partly because during COVID wasn't fun, but it did help us learn that we can help a lot more people be involved by doing things in person and virtually. Because somebody way up northeast corner of our state couldn't come to Olympia for advocacy days, but they can join it virtually online. And that's kind of like with the social media thing. You find more ways to reach out to people, to share your message, to educate people about how they can share their message. And like I said, it's baby steps we have to take. But we do make progress. And sometimes we have to do that by compromising. And compromising doesn't mean that you give up on the end goal that you're looking for. It just means you take a baby step forward, and then next year you come back and tackle the issue again. And it may be that you see a new way, somebody suggests something else as a way to address the issue. And so maybe next year you are going to look at how you did it. Talk to other people. Bring people in to talk to you, like at SAIL. You can bring in legislators to talk to you, to help you brainstorm on issues that are important to you. And you can also just bring in experts, that have a lot of knowledge about the issue or who've worked on it a lot. And you could help them with giving you suggestions of another way to attack the problem. And remember, we're not attacking the person, the people at the legislature. We want to attack the problem and find a way for it to go into effect of being fixed or even partially fixed in a way that's going to make a change for people. And I know all of you have heard me say it many, many times. Always remember to say thank you. Even if you have a meeting with the legislator and you talk about a bill that's really important to you, but maybe the legislator disagrees with you and doesn't think we need that, you still want to say thank you for listening to me, because your attitude about it can make a difference later on. That legislator may hear from other legislators about the issue, and maybe they listen to what their peers in the legislature say about the issue. And then they'll think back to when you came to see them. And now they understand what you were trying to get across. And because you stayed calm and you still thank them for just listening to you, they have a much more positive remembrance of when you were there. And we've talked a lot before about your message when you do visit a legislator in person. or whether you do it online or by email, give them just a quick synopsis, a little bit of information that's most important to you about your issue, maybe some suggestions of what you think needs to change to make it better, and then follow it up with thank you. I appreciate your time. You want to leave those positive thoughts and feelings about you and your issues. So always remember that. Don't ever finish a conversation, whether in person, virtually, in writing, email, on Facebook. You still want to make sure that you tell them, thank you. I appreciate you listening to me. So, you guys, you've all made me very happy over the years. I've seen so much growth in so many of you. And I've grown from watching so many others of you. Listen to the people who've been around. Try and understand what they may think or what they may have tried years ago. And maybe you can try that again because nobody's suggested it for a while. But you guys are the ones that are advocating. Legislators want to hear from you. So you are the one who has to keep this going. Like I said, I'm not going away. I'm just going to step back a little. But next year, you will see me back at the legislature. I'll just be testifying as a concerned citizen instead of policy for the ARC. Because you're going to have Kathy to rally you next year around all the things that maybe didn't get done this year that you're still going to go after next year. And Kathy can help connect you with the federal issues that are affected by our state issues. So don't forget to keep those two pieces in play. I don't know how I'm going to walk away from this. It's
I
going to
don't
be
think
very
you can,
difficult
Tyrone.
because it's been my
You're
life
amazing.
for so many years, but I'm not going to be gone. So I'm going to open it up to questions. I see Kyle's hand is up there.
Well, first of all, Diane, thank you for your many years of service. It's without you, I mean, not without you, but also with others, it helps me gone up to where I'm at now. I've been doing advocating for over 40 years through other organizations. I've gone, and two, I did a class that the King County did called Advocating Change for Togetherness. And that's where I got more and more involved in legislative advocacy. Now I do more of supporting people as well as doing testifying, etc. One bill that, as everybody knows, I'm passionate about is the Nothing Without Us Act. It started 4 years ago. Now we're waiting to see if it gets passed off the House floor. And once it gets passed, we're hoping to see it, making sure it gets implemented in the correct way. And with that also it's because it has to do with temporary entities. Hopefully to make it from temporary to being a full entity, the full, and that'll be the next step. And what can we do? The other thing that we can also do, which everybody, you already mentioned as well as Eric, is what can we do in the interim? What can we do in between times? What can we do to be able to say, hey, this is what we truly believe in, and we make that difference. I say my voice, but also other voices can make the difference. So, and that's what we can also do in the near future is to be able to go to sale, I mean, I'm on the ledge committee on sale, on also our shut them down rally, shut them down for with people first. But it's just saying, we truly believe that people deserve, especially people with disabilities, deserve to be in their community and have every right to do what they do. And first of all, thank you for what you have done in many different ways. So, and also too, if this gives us a welcome advocacy thing to do, to be able to form new bills. How do we be able to get in touch with the legislator just saying, hey, can you help champion a bill that would help? Because that's when we got a hold up for Nothing Without Us. That's when we got a hold of Patterson. And then, which was the seatmate of now Representative Daria Farber, how she helped spearhead it with Ivanova to do the Nothing Without Us Act. And now look how far we gotten this far. And we're hoping that it goes further. And I've been watching it as and hopefully it comes up soon. So one of the biggest things, I thank you for all your years of service. And I hope that you still keep advocating, which I heard that you will. And to me, thank you and thank you once again. And I hope to see you sometime in person and hope we can celebrate sometime in person as well. And hopefully we can bring back advocacy days in person or do a hybrid model once again, and to see if we can do that once again. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle. And another thing I want to make sure people don't kind of sweep to the side. Don't let people tell you you can't do that.
Exactly.
I remember years ago when I first started in this, you wouldn't have seen Sean Latham advocating, or Julie Clark, or Mike Guntala. Advocacy doesn't just mean that you're an able-bodied person and you can walk around and go do things. We all have thoughts and perspectives that are important. And so remember last year, the rally that we had? Because of COVID, we hadn't been able to have any big rallies. You know, it was like 23 people the year before. But we decided, no, I'm not going to listen to them. We are going to have a big rally. And we had a big rally. 9 legislators came out to talk at our rally. That's unheard of. And that rally had over 400 people at it. King 5 showed up. Drew Mickelson said, we've been filming all these little 20 and 30 person rallies. This is the first time we've seen, since COVID started, a real rally with lots of people. Don't let people convince you that you can't do something or it won't work. You guys are tenacious. You'll find a way to make it work. Just keep putting your drive into it. Put your passion into it. Work with others to find ways to make it happen. Mike, I see your hand is up too.
Yes, I had to unmute myself. Diane, you are one of the few people, and I say this loosely, few people that can make me cry in an instant. Tamika knows this because I seen Tamika everywhere I go. I had too many hats, believe me. When I took this position in sale, I did not know how much it would lead me to my issues. But when I saw you, Diane, excuse me, I'm trying to keep it to myself. Oh, tears of joy. When I saw you in the same position as a wheelchair person, I said, if she can do it, I can do it too.
That's right.
That's great.
There are no limits.
Well, first of all, people were looking at me like I was limited. They always do. That won't stop. But through as this co-chair sale now, I learned that there's no limits. There's no limits.
That's right,
It's
Mike.
the people that don't understand what we have to go through. But we have to, I help Eric, I help Sean, and Sean has helped me understand that too. And Jessica and all those people made me understand, because I told my mom once this, and I keep reminding myself. I said, Mom, we'll have the people like me. And she realized I needed to be with my peers. And she went, there's people out there for you. We just have to find them. And to me, of course, I met people like Jamaica, Kathy, yourself, Eric, and so many people. And they helped me. And Sean, don't want to forget Sean or Jessica. They helped me be the best leader I can be. We have to help each other. And believe me, I'm going to say this to everyone on here. We are a family, regardless of where we live. Or if we are 50 miles away from each other, we are still a family to each other.
That's
So
right.
don't ever forget that. If you need support, yeah, Kathy's here, Tamika's here, Taylor's here. I finally got your name right. After all this stuff. And Diana's still here. She's stepping back, but she'll be in Olympia. Believe me. If I know Diana as much as I do, she'll still be in Olympia. Believe me. She's not going anywhere.
That's
Thanks,
right, Mike.
So thank you, Diane, for all what you've done. And I look forward to seeing you in the future.
Thank you, Mike. I want you to know that we're going to have a little time to share more about Diana in a couple of minutes. We've got a couple of business items that we got to do before we do
I
that.
had to say that.
Sorry, we do have to talk about the bills and the budget. I'm just going to give a quick overview, but stick around for some fun, okay?
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to find the bills and the budgets. Oops, that's not the right one.
Technology.
Okay. That's not the what I wanted to share.
Technology, Kathy.
Technology, and it just doesn't move very fast. I've got to look. I think it might be here. Let me see. Hold on. That's not it either, but I got to move it. Oh, that's still not the right one. Sorry. And I had it all set up so that I could do it, but then it didn't want to go where I want it to go. Sorry, y'all. Sorry that
Kathy, you want me to help?
I can't find find my the toolbar.
You want the bills or you want the budget?
Oh, there we go. Here we go. Let's do the bills first. Do you want to share?
I can.
Sorry. And it's the Google Doc that you can share.
Okay, well, I'm gonna share what I last had open. Hopefully this is it.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. Now I got to get you back so I can see it. Okay. Was this from this morning?
Oh, I'm not sure. Is there another one that you would have sent this
Yeah, I
morning?
updated it this morning, but that's okay.
Oh, let me look.
Let's see if I find it well.
Tuesday. I don't
I'm
have it
looking
yet.
for the, okay, hold on. I think I found it. Hold on. Okay, can you see now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, sorry. All righty, I'm gonna do this quick. There's, really right now, all the hearings are done pretty much. And the budgets, both the House and the Senate budgets are out. So this is crunch time. So right now we're seeing things on the floor. So the Affordable Housing Act is still there. It's in rules.
Oh, Kath, I
yeah.
think you're looking at Feb 12. Feb 28 should be the one, right?
Okay, you're not, is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, we see February 12th.
Okay, I'm not sure. Oh, it does the
I've
sheet
seen
say that?
February 26th.
Yeah,
What I
on
see
the
on.
document. The actual document.
Okay, you got it.
The bill, not the name of the document has the wrong date, but the
Got it.
document
Okay,
itself
got it.
should
got
be.
it.
Okay. Okay. Some bills have started to die. So we see this independent living bill has died, but most of our bills on our sheet are moving right along, in second reading. The one I want to tell you about, the individual provider definition of family building bill, it was heard in executive session and it's on second reading. We were able to get an amendment in there that exempts, that kind of goes, it turns the bill back so that there's no longer continuing ed for family members. So that was a big deal. So we've got it. So we went back to having a smiley face. We like the bill as it is with this amendment. If you want to thank him, Representative Springer from the 45th District did that for us. That's a big deal. Some of these other bills I'm going to skip over. As you can see, a bunch of them are second reading, which means they're just right a step away from going onto the floor. Oops, now it doesn't want us to go forward. Really happy news. 5883, the burden of proof bill concerning the burden of proof for special education due process hearings. It passed. Yay. We've worked a long time for that. And it kind of was back and forth. Was it going to pass? Was it not going to pass? So we're really excited for that. The infant and toddler bills, it's got it made it to the calendar. Some of these other bills, education bills, they're all in rules or ready for second reading. When it's review, that means they have to kind of look at the bill again, decide if they're going to move it forward. Second reading, I believe that means that it's been excused from the rules and that it gets to move forward. It's a little different from House to Senate. Maybe Diana can explain that in a few minutes. Unfortunately, the restraint and isolation bill died, and it's something that we're going to have to come back for. Again, here's a bunch of bills. The purple ones, that means it's like they're already on the calendar. Not a date on the calendar, but there will be coming up. And again, the systems improvement bill died. Preservation of records. I noticed that's still in the review committee. That may be one that we want to kind of keep an eye on to make sure it comes out of rules. And I see there's a bunch of stuff in there. Yeah. And thank you all, Deanna. Thank you so much for alerting us to the 5811 issue, and great work, everybody, to keep that bill getting the changes that we needed to that bill. So, okay, I'm going to switch over to the budget. Can you all see the budget now? I can't see you, so I can't tell if you're saying, are you seeing the budget now?
We're seeing it now, Kath.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I couldn't get off
Okay.
mute.
All righty. Okay. Blue means that there's a hole. Yellow means that there's money and we like it. Okay. Yellow means it's like a happy face. Blue means like, we need some help here. So really happy to see money for supported living in the House budget, but it's not in the Senate. So we need some advocacy around that. I think that's really important. Also the same for employment and community inclusion rates. There's some money in the House, but not in the Senate. There's money in all three budgets for parent to parent and informing families. That's really great. There is, I'm going to pop down. We talked about this last time, I believe. There's money for guardians who to get paid at higher rate if their person moves from an RHC to the community. And we think that's good. It's, yes, it's kind of rewarding bad behavior, but if it moves people out, we're happy. Let's see, there's money in the Senate side around point of contact for rare diseases. I'm not going to go into that. There was money for, ECAP, for a rate increase for ESIT. There's this, keep an eye on this one, an inclusion expansion program for childcare teams. And that is, has money in the Senate, but not the House. And let's see, a couple other places, but I'm going to skip some of these because I don't think it's as stuff that we are involved with. There's money for the special ed cap increase. It's different in each budget. So, and there's money for recruitment of special ed teachers. Interesting, there was money in the budget for the restraint and isolation bill, but that bill didn't pass. But there's discussion about maybe that the money could stay there for training, which might be a good thing. Let's see. I'm going to skip some of these things because money for the Project Echo and the START trainings is in the House, but not in the Senate. I think that's important to take note of. And all the money for the preservation of records at Lakeland Village is in the Senate budget, but not in the House. So we need to work on that as well and make sure that bill gets passed. There was money for affordable housing in Snohomish and Skagit. I don't know a lot about that, but it was for DD housing. I think it's to get maybe a nonprofit going, and that was in the House and not the Senate. And of course, capital budget, the 20 million in both the Senate and House for DD housing, which is just great. And for Open Doors project, there's 5 million for both of those. Okay, that was the really quick down and dirty vote. You can go and look more at those. I think they're putting the link to those in the chat. And I will repost probably this afternoon the updated bill chart, because in case there's changes from this morning, if any bills pass. So, okay. There we go, Sean.
Yeah, I have to unmute myself. Well,
Happy last Advocacy Day, everyone. My name is Sean Latham from Sale. My visual description is a white middle-aged man with a black shirt on. I have a picture of the Sale logo and Sale members in the background. I hope you all are ready to do one last push to get some of our bills passed. I love action saga movies where the heroes have to go on a long adventure with multiple challenges. Some of our heroes don't make the ending, but many get to the end of the movie and end up saving the world. While legislative season isn't about physical life or death, It does remind me of these movies because we have to go through many hurdles to get to the end. We need to team up and work together. And while unfortunately, some bills don't make it, but overall, I believe most years we win. As we are at the end, it's time again to follow the rules committees and also the House and Senate floors, which will show us what bills will be passed. I wanted to remind you that you can visit the legislative website and see what bills are coming up for a vote on the floor. You can just go to leg.wa.gov. Once you are on that page, look for the prompt, "What's happening on the floor?" Underneath, you can click on the links for the House floor calendar and the Senate floor calendar. These links will take you to the place to see what bills are coming up for a floor vote. Please check it out. Also, I hope you continue to watch TVW during these last 2 weeks, as you will see legislators passing the final bills and budgets for the year. I also encourage you to keep watching after, as they have some good shows reviewing session, looking at issues coming up in the future and getting us ready for the election. I will quickly say that as of 9 a.m., the Nothing About Us Without Us Act has been moved to the floor regular calendar at number 11. We are advocating that they move the bill to the consent calendar if possible. We have, meaning myself and SAIL members, have been contacting the Lieutenant Governor and Senate leadership to see if we can move it up. I greatly encourage you to advocate for the bills you are following. Right now is the big push. Okay, let's talk about the one-pager. It's titled, "What Can You Do Now?" As we move past season, we are asking you to continue to think about and advocate for the needs of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities and their families. We know our work is never done and we must always look for ways to improve lives. It's important to know what individuals and their families need through all the life stages. We know that early diagnosis is important for families, as well as early supports for their little ones. We know that from preschool to college, we must do a better job at helping individuals get a high-quality education. We also know when people enter the workforce, they need the right supports to do the job and climb the career ladder. We know that we must do better helping individuals and their families access high-quality and reliable providers, including respite providers, so that everyone can lead meaningful lives. Finally, we must make sure our communities are accessible and welcoming to individuals with IDD. Housing is important, transportation is important, community inclusion is important. I hope you will consider these and other issues throughout the year. So what you can now and in the future. 1. Support services. Prioritize funding for a comprehensive range of supports and services for individuals with I/DD, ensuring coverage across their lifespan. 2. Education. Ensure that school is inclusive, accessible, and equitable for children with disabilities. 3. Workforce development. Invest in increased rates, training, and professional development to help build a robust workforce that delivers quality care and support. 4. Housing. Allocate resources to address the critical need for safe, affordable, and accessible housing. I'm going to add on to the list, which, my hope for all of us, is to come together in the off-season and listen, really listen to each other, so that when we talk about these issues, we can create solutions that work for everyone. My challenge to each of us is to look around the virtual room and find maybe 3 people we might not normally talk to and contact them to hear what they are looking for and what they need. And as you do that, we can create a better community as we go into session next year. As always, for more information about these and other issues, I'm going to post this week's one-pager in the chat. Also, again, please see the ARC's bills of interests for additional information.
I know we are a little bit out of order, Kathy.
Uh-huh.
Do I pass it to you next, or do I pass it to the survey?
Let's do the survey really quick.
Okay.
I think let's do that, and then I have some other things to share, but I want to do the survey now.
Okay.
I'm gonna,
We
let's
also
see.
have a question in the chat whenever we have time for questions.
Okay. Okay. There, if you guys would take a minute to do that, and please stick around.
And I will be putting that survey in there. Yeah. As soon as I find the list. Hold on.
I'm gonna give you a minute there.
Maybe we can ask this question while people are working on that. Is that okay?
That's great. Please do.
Okay, Carrie asks, what is the best way to identify who to contact on behalf of the bills that are passed in one house but not the other? I would appreciate the guidance so that I can be most effective at this point. Thank you.
I think looking, it's where it is. If it's still in rules, I would, whatever rules committee it is, you want to encourage it to get out of rules committee. So look at the list of people that are in rules. If it's out of rules and just kind of sitting there, you would probably want to connect with your regular legislator. Oops, somebody's not on mute, I think. Sorry. I would connect with your legislator to vote for the bill.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay, I'm going to leave let's see. Is everybody just about done with the poll? Some of you are probably going to use the other one. Checking to see. Give you one more minute. I'm going to get some things ready while you do that. Finish that up. Okay. Back down. Share my screen. I'll give you 1 second.
And I just put in the chat the links to the House Rules Committee members and the Senate Rules Committee members. That's where most things are going to be sitting. And so what you do is you contact one of those members and you say, would you please pull this bill so it can be voted on from the floor? And hopefully they'll email you back and tell you yes or no. It just takes one of those members, and if the bill is sponsored by Democrats or seems to be something that is seen as a Democrat rule, a Republican cannot pull it, and vice versa. So you might want to check to see who the sponsor of your bill is. And there's a couple of bills that are languishing in rules, including 6125, the preservation of records. So any kind of communication is great.
Great. I'm going to close the poll. And just a second, I'll make sure that there weren't any other things in there. Get a chat box. Okay, guys, some of you have been waiting all this time for this. So it's time to do a little celebrating. And some of you are prepared for this. If you're not, get ready, put on your filter.
So that's your microphone.
Are we ready to go?
How do I put on a filter?
Go to your video settings under there.
Go to
And if you
video,
can't,
video, and go to the, yep, go to the video, or as the click the carrot top and go up to video filter.
Video
and depending
filter.
on your
All I see is stop video and then Q&A.
Go to stop video, but there's a little carrot top right to the right of it that you click.
Oh, there's the carrot. Is that? Is the orange dot the carrot?
That's a
No.
little triangle that's pointed up.
Little I'm not seeing a triangle.
It might
Moving
depend
to
on
the right of it.
Do we go to the more? Oh, here.
No.
It would be under the video.
That makes you really big.
Right next door. It's okay. And if you can't get there, it's okay. We can play. You can, it's not, it's okay if you can't. All righty, here we go. Are you guys ready to party? Here we go.
I can't do it.
Okay, well.
Oh, I tried. Let's celebrate.
We love you.
Makes me want to snap, Diana.
Oops. Diana, I gotta see there. I just wanted you to see this. This was a note that came in. Oops. That somebody that couldn't be here that wanted to share with you.
This is one of our board members, Diana, from the Arc of Washington.
Yeah, that wanted to share with you.
Yeah,
And
I
right now,
recognize the name.
yeah.
Is that Adina Angle?
It is,
Yes.
Margaret Lee.
Yeah, I've known her for years.
Yeah,
She's
me
great.
too.
And Diane, I have good news for you too.
What's that?
Actually, I have good news for the entire group, which came down earlier this month, and I have to go get it tonight. My arc is a homage. The one down here has selected me to be the leader of has selected me to be the 2024 Leadership Advocacy person to receive the 2024 Advocacy Award for Leadership. So there you go.
Way to go, Mike.
Great, Mike.
Well, it's because that Diane has leaded us all through every year that I know her. And believe me, my mom knows her really well too. On behalf of my family and this family, thank you, Diane.
Thanks, Mike. Diana, we want to celebrate you. And as you can all see, in honor of your wonderful glasses and costumes through the years, we've all joined in to add a little flair today. And we just thought it would be a fun way to honor you. I think I'm gonna have Stacy say, there's people here who want to say things. I'm gonna have Stacy go first, and I think Brandy's here for just a short while. And then after that, we'll have people raise their hand to go in, we'll go in order. But I did want, and if there's special guests that have to quickly leave, just drop me a note in the box and we'll let you go next. Diana, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure. And I tell you, those shoes are really, not that you have big feet, but you have to fill. And I don't know how, I have so much to learn, and I appreciate your graciousness in sharing what you know with me and allowing me to follow you. And, you know, I'll never be Diana, but I just appreciate you so much. So, okay, Stacy.
And Diana, I actually remember when you were hired in this position so long ago. I was not at the ARC yet at all, but I still knew who you were. And I can't go anywhere on campus that people don't ask about you today. I was just there all day Monday. Every single legislator I ran into asked about you. So you need to know what a legacy you've created. People just know who you are, even if they don't get to be with you so much these last few years. I know that I've learned an incredible amount from you. You taught me so much about rules and technical aspects of lobbying and being on campus, but also just watching you be such an incredible listener to everyone. You hear everyone, and it's very touching and amazing. So just know that you have not only cracked open my heart many times in the ways that you view a problem, but I know that many people here and who couldn't be here today will remember you for that. So thank you so much. And just so everybody knows, before I hand it over, we are going to have an in-person retirement party for Diana in Tacoma. We're still working on the date because there's a couple of big self-advocate meetings that are happening the same week that Diana's retiring. So we had to move the date around a little bit, but we'll be sure and send out an invitation to people. And then Diana, I know that a couple of your children are here actually. And I know people would love to hear from them. Tiffany, do you want to say a few words?
I can't hear you.
Hi, Mom.
Hear you.
Oh,
there she is.
Uh-oh. Am I unmuted?
Now I can hear you.
Did we work?
We can hear you now.
Awesome. I wanted to start by saying Miley and I had a conversation. I'm going to cry when I talk probably. Sorry, guys. Miley and I had a conversation the other day because they'd been doing a project in her class related to like them learning about Martin Luther King Jr. And they had to kind of come up with an idea about like what thing they might want to do or see or something like that someday to change the world. And oh, here it comes. Miley kind of like had a hard time with that concept of like, how could I like actually change like the world? Like that doesn't even compute. Like she just couldn't comprehend how her as one person could do something like that. And my immediate example was I said, well, look at Grammy. And she goes, what do you mean? And then we started talking about all the things that you've done over your career, both in your personal life, but also professionally. And I'm talking to her about all these specific bills throughout the year that like you've done. And she was like, what? Really? Grammy did that? And I was like, yes, she's literally like changed thousands and probably hundreds of thousands of people's lives because of the work that she has done. Like that is stuff that has changed the world, literally, both in the big sense and individual people's worlds. And to me, it was just awesome to kind of be able to have a second to reflect, well, more than a second, but time to reflect on that and just all that you've done, because I've learned so much from you, just with your service heart. And guys, by the way, she's like this all the time when she's not at work too. She is just constantly like a giver and just constantly like showing love with everything she does, showing creativity in everything that she does. Like she is the most authentic person I've ever known. She is the same her everywhere, always. And always just giving. That's what she has done with her life. And thank you for doing so much to change the world. Thank you so much for doing so much to give me inspiration to be a helper as well. And my kids, because they look up to you so much too as they're continuing to learn more about that. And you're wonderful and I love you. And I'm honestly really glad you're retiring. Sorry, everybody, but we want to get to have you more. So, so now we get to have you more. But you guys will still see her lots, as she said.
Fantastic. Brandy, did you want to go next?
Hi, everyone. I'm Brandy Motz with the Developmental Disability Council. And sometimes when I just sit back to think about what are we doing here and what are we reaching for and what are we trying to build in Washington, I get super appreciative of being in Washington and getting a chance to be around a lot of really wise folks. Some of them are here on the screen today. And Diana is definitely one of them who I've gotten a chance to work with through the ARC Washington Trust and the Community Advocacy Coalition and advocating on the Hill, and just years and years of passionate, hard work. And I hope everyone on this screen gets a moment to reflect on Diana and her work, and a lot of the folks who've been in our field and started this work and this movement, and their mentorship and their example. I feel like some places in our country and on the planet don't have a lot of that happening. And we are super lucky to have Diana here as part of our community and continue to do the work that she has dedicated her career to. So I know you know, Diana, how much you are appreciated, and I'm glad you're not going to go away, because we still need you and appreciate you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Brandy.
Let's see. I'm trying to see who has hands up.
Well, I see my daughter or my son Alex there somewhere.
You want to speak?
Oh, you're on mute, Alex.
Oh, there we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. Yes, I also want to say thank you for being a, wonderful example to us. I may not be the most social of your children, but you have, through what you've done, shown us a lot of what can be done to help make the world better. And it's just so great to have a mom like you who, is helping so many people that, we can be proud. Our mom is a superhero. But also very much agreeing with Tiffany that, yeah, we're very happy that you're retiring and, get to spend time with all of us and do things that, are relaxing enjoyment, not work enjoyment.
Like playing with the dogs.
Yes, just like that. Well, and teaching us new skills like the piano and the guitar and things. So yeah, yay for more learning, growing time with us.
It's great. Did David want to say something? He might be shy.
Might as well.
Okay.
Because I'm usually kind of more the background person. So, but yeah, Mom, you've done pretty much a lot. And I've actually, due to all the stuff that's pretty much happened for your work, I have learned so much when it came to the legislature stuff. I still remember pretty much of like when my drawing days were actually still good when I was younger, of that competition that was pretty much held on like what does advocacy mean to you, and apparently actually doing really well because you taught me so much on that. But pretty much when it comes to all those kind of things, um basically, yeah, it's once you, from as for which Alex and Tiff said, once you retired, that it'll actually be nice. And especially pretty much kind of news for everyone, we're gonna, pretty much me and Mom are gonna try to work on a video game together to actually, that deals with a person with developmental disabilities, and that'll actually be kind of fun. And I'm actually been trying to do a lot of game engine tests as we speak, prepping for that. So yeah, pretty much. Thank you, Mom, for pretty much, and also happy retirement.
It's great.
I have to say, I have the most wonderful kids and grandkids in the whole wide world. There just can't be anything better than them.
That's great.
I don't think my grandkids are better than they are, but maybe just as good.
Well, you've got a few more, Margaret Lee, than I've collected.
That's
We have some people politely raising their hands. Should we go through some of those folks?
Yep. Let's do that.
I see Jessica's got her hand up.
She's got to unmute.
Give her a sec to queue up.
Give her a second.
For advocacy only grew stronger. You have helped me build my confidence in my leadership role with SAIL, and your friendship and your willingness to always correct my mistakes is something I always appreciate. I know you're not going away, but you are one of my favorite people. Thank you again for everything you have done for me.
Oh, that's so sweet, Jessica.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Jessica. Let's see who's next. Robert?
You're the awesome person I ever know, because when I first met you, I said, I didn't know nothing about stuff. I learned from you. You taught me a lot. Thank you.
Thanks, Robert.
And I'm willing to keep fighting for what I believe in, but I'll work with Jessica and Sean about some stuff. Thank you.
Yep. See, Sean?
You need all this, John.
I also wanted to a few words on a great friend and now a coworker, Diana. I think we met around 2005, and I remember you rolling down all the floors in the Capitol buildings. I appreciated seeing how professional you were with legislators, and I know they respected you for that and they admired your advocacy spirit. That said, I also appreciated your smile and your laughter, greeting new advocates in Olympia, making them feel comfortable with the process. I know I was a nervous little bee when I first started, and you made me laugh. So thank you, Diana. I will miss you. I hope that your retirement with your family, especially your grandkids, is a great one. I have a feeling though, Diana, we will see you again because you have a great advocacy spirit in you, and I know it will be hard for you to stay away. Many blessings, Diana.
Thank you, Sean.
Julie?
Second that.
And the yeah. Man.
Thank you. Thank you,
Julie,
Julie.
it's been so nice to get to know you. And I even got to meet you in person, through all this COVID stuff. You were one of the friends I made during this time. And it surprised me. I'd never met you before, even though we talk all the time. But I appreciate you, Julie. I really do.
Taylor.
Can you fill all of this, Taylor?
Diana, I know as I entered this journey, I know I've always wanted to advocate. I just never knew where to start and how. And then when I started my job here at the ARC Spokane, and I got to meet you and gotten to know you and many other advocates over the years. And I also want to, Tiffany, Alex, David, I'm just so thankful and grateful for you guys for sharing your mom with us. And I also want to point out Diana's a wonderful mother to you three and a wonderful Grammy to your kids, Tiffany. And she's also a wonderful, and she also mothers many other children in the community that are not biologically hers. And I feel lucky to be one of those of many to feel like she's just been a wonderful, just motherly presence in this, even though I haven't been around as long as or as much as most of you have been. And I know I've been very quiet and haven't reached out to you as much, Diana, this year. I want to apologize for that. I've been navigating a new employment journey. I've started when I got kicked off SSI. I've been so focused on just legislative work and family because I just started full time, and it's my first experience being full time. I think I've done 6 months full time employment so far just to survive. But you are always on my mind every day, and I appreciate you welcoming me with open arms and showing me the love, patience, and thank you for watering all your little flowers and watching this garden grow.
Oh, Taylor, you are so wonderful. I mean, watching you grow has been a tremendous experience because you were this quiet little shy girl that, said, oh, okay, what do I supposed to do? And I gave you some jobs and you ran with them. And look at you now. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, Diana. I love you, and we all love you. But yeah, I appreciate your patience, and but I will do anything you guys ask me, and but I appreciate all the jobs I'm given.
I love you too, Taylor.
Kyle.
Once again, thank you. I mean, I said it earlier, but I'm going to again say thank you. You're a great, gracious lady. You know how to be able to make it easier on people so they can understand, especially, and also what you said earlier about role playing. That it really helped myself, maybe as others, to know how the process goes, so that when we want to be able to teach to somebody else, we would be able to say, that's from our heart. This is what we know, but you got to be able to put it in your own words. So I thank you for being that person, but also thanks others for being that supporter, but also you particularly, because you always say it's always doing good in numbers, but it's got to come from your heart. And I thank you once again. Thanks.
Thank you, Kyle.
Somebody else want to share?
Sorry, Tia's left. I don't think so.
I am just so grateful for all of you. Each and every one of you has added a little spot in my life, so that I've grown. I've gotten all these different perspectives by learning from each of you. And I wouldn't have had all of those perspectives if I hadn't had you in my life. So I have valued each and every one of you. And yes, you will still see me around.
Diane, I didn't share this with the whole group, but I'm going to. We have something in common. You mentioned one great child, I believe, if I heard you correctly, or your kid said this. I have one great nephew who is going to turn 1 in March. I did not share that with the whole group until now. And every time I look at him, because I saw him a couple times, I think of you. Just because it's not just because, oh shoot, I'm doing it again. I hope I get through this day and do it all. Yes, what everyone else said, including your children. I didn't share this story with you because I just remember this. When we went to the community summit, which a long time ago, and I was in front of listening to the thing in front of it, you came and sat next to me in your power wheelchair, and I was toward the front door, so if I needed to exit, I could. But you sat next to me, and to me, that meant everything. Excuse me. I usually don't tell this much. That meant everything to me because I looked at you and said, how long have you been doing this? And you said, a very long time. My kids, I'm doing this for my kids and for all of you. That stuck with me for this long. And look how much you taught me. Because now I'm about to receive the award, the leadership award from my uncles and homies, which I did not plan on it. Because I help so many people. Every time I help somebody, I think of you. Not many people say that. But you, look what you've done. Look what you've done. Look what you're leaving behind. It's in good hands with so many people here. I can't believe how much your life means to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. And you're going to keep getting more and more of those advocacy leadership awards.
Yes, I will. And
okay.
I remember one thing. Not because I know this, because every time my mom needed something, she called you. And I said, who are you talking to? And she said, Diane, because she knows all this. And I have to mention this to everyone. The caregiver union, which my mom belongs to, Stacy knows this. I spoke in front of 900 people. My very first time. And I was like 900. And I go, I'm not doing this alone. I'm not doing this alone. There was 3 other people that did it with me. And I went, when they heard my story, everybody stood up. So I thought, if Diane can do this many people, I can too.
Hey guys, I'm sorry to interrupt, but guess what?
Our bill's next.
Our bill's next. 1541 is like right now. Should we try to pull it up?
Yes.
Yeah, it's right now. They're finishing up the fish barriers, and then we're next. Because I'm watching it.
Okay, hold on. Let's see if we can watch it together. Send it live video. Okay, now I'm going to share my screen.
Go ahead, Kathy. You can interrupt me.
Sorry, So sorry to interrupt, but I
No,
thought,
it's okay.
This is important.
It's okay. It's important.
Okay, hold on.
The bill be placed in final passage. Hearing no objections, so ordered. Substitute House Bill 2045 is amended by the Senate on third reading and final passage. Remarks?
I should mute myself. Sorry.
Senator Mazzal.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is an issue, court ordered, that we are all well aware of the fact that we are falling behind considerably when it comes to removing fish.
Okay, we don't have to listen to fish for a minute.
But you know how we all love it. We all love learning.
Right? Oh, let's see, but it looks like it's coming right. Yeah, it's on, the next bill is scheduled. It's, you guys must have done really great advocacy because it wasn't on the consent calendar. It went straight to the top. So excellent. Let's see.
And what a great way to close out my
barriers.
Yeah,
I can tell you
Watch.
one thing. I can tell you one
Piece of
thing.
legislation.
I called the and Danny Heck's office myself this morning, as well as Jamie Peterson, who is the leadership role, and said, "Hey, can you make sure it gets put on the top?" And now look at what's happening. So it's getting there, which is nice.
That's great.
Diane is about to leave, and this would be a good send-off, I think.
Yeah.
It's not last minute either, which is awesome. Like, I mean,
yeah, like the last thing in the session.
I ask
yeah.
for support. Thank you, Mr. President.
Let's listen to this
Further
and then
remarks,
we'll
Senator
hear the next
Nobles?
part. Hopefully it'll
Thank
be
you,
short.
Mr. President. I move to excuse Senator Trudeau and Senator Kaiser.
Senator Noble moves to excuse Senators Trudeau and Kaiser. Hearing no objection, Senators Trudeau and Kaiser are excused. Further remarks? If there are no further remarks, requested before the Senate is final passage of Substitute House Bill 2045 as amended by the Senate. The Secretary will call the roll.
Billig.
Can you all see?
Benke.
Yep.
Perfect.
Braun. Cleveland.
Diana, don't you think this is a fitting way for you to say
Conway.
goodbye?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Dozier. Fortunato. Frame. Gildon.
This is
Hanson.
one of the things that still needs to change too, is the
Hanson.
Senate needs to get up to date. The House
Mascaro.
does all their voting electronically and get 3 times as many bills passed
Hunt.
because it's so
Kaufman.
inefficient.
Because
But
they have,
the Senate insists on counting one person at a
Whitterer.
time for every vote.
Leas.
Well, I think they
I can
wanna
tell
be-
you one thing, when Senator Habib, who used to be the
Thank you,
lieutenant
Drew.
governor, he did the
Jim.
electronic voting, and when he was lieutenant governor. And to me, I thought that was really appreciated because that helped. But now since we got Denny Heck, he went back now the roll call. But it still gives the clerk enough time to ask people what their vote is anyways, which is
Peterson.
nice.
Randall.
You're exactly right, Kyle.
Rivers. Robinson. Robinson. Saldana. Solomon. Chesler. Shoemake. Short. Stanford. Torres. Trudeau. Valdez. Vandaway. Wagoner. Warnick.
Votes aye.
Wellman. Wellman. Wilson Clare. Wilson Jeff. Wilson Linda.
Senator Hanson, how do you vote? Senator Hanson votes aye. Senator Nguyen, how do you vote? Senator Nguyen votes aye. Senator Robinson, how do you vote? Senator Robinson votes aye. Senator Wellman, how do you vote? Senator Wellman votes aye. Mr. President, there are 47 yeas, 0 nay, 2 excused. Having received a constitutional majority, substitute House Bill 2045 as amended by the Senate is declared passed. The title of the bill will be the title of the act. Senator Peterson.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I am grateful to all of you up there for some good hard work this morning. We have been very productive, and I now move that the Senate be subject to the call of the President for purposes of lunch.
Oh, no.
Senator Hasagawa.
President, the Senate Democrats will break for a quick lunch and then convene in the caucus room at 12:25.
Senator Mazzal.
Thank you, Mr. President. Our caucus presence is requested in the caucus room right now.
Senator Peterson has moved that the Senate now stand at ease for purposes of lunch and caucus, subject to the call of the President. Hearing no objection, the Senate now stands at ease.
Oh, no.
Well, that means it's going to be like a little 12:30 or 12:45 somewhere, or 1.
So like I said earlier, I'll be getting on the sale room at 12:30 for people. If people want to watch it live, they can come to the sale room.
We should probably send emails in asking them to pick up where they left off so that we don't have to worry about not being next.
Yeah, because now it's said the calendar says bill scheduled next. No bill has been specified.
Right.
So, they just tempted us. Let's see.
Not cool.
No, that's not, because it's not on order consideration. So, well, we can. Are there others that want to share with Diana? First of all, Sean, if you want to put the link to the room maybe in the chat box, if people want to go to the watch party.
I will do that.
Thanks.
Okay.
Anybody else have any last things they want to share with Diana?
Diana, I wrote mine in the chat because I tend to cry. So I'm not going to cry on.
That's what I've been doing all morning. Come on, I gotta get through tonight.
You know how much I love you, Diana.
Yeah.
We appreciate you, and I hope you know, Diana, how much you're loved and appreciated, and truly you have left a legacy of work for people with IDD that's really, I think that's the thing as advocates, we always want to know is, have we made a difference? And you have, and we appreciate that so much.
And I know I spoke 3 times already. And trying not to cry because I have to get through tonight. And the fact that I'm gonna do it tonight too, I know it. But the legacy that you left is now in our hands. Look what you done. It's in Kathy's hands. It's in everyone on here.
Everyone
on here. Not because I said Kathy's name doesn't mean I leave it out. Everyone on here. It's too many names to mention. But as the leadership of CL at this moment, look what I done the past year. And I'm getting the award. I did not know I was doing that. Seriously. People behind you, people behind me. The legacy that you left is just amazing. And
thank you, Mike.
I'm sorry. I can't even speak without a tear coming down my face. This is one of those days where I just remember, Diane, that I know you're not going away. That's not the thing. that the legacy that you left and put it in Kathy's hands is and left it in Kathy's hands made you feel so good that you left it in so good hands.
Yep, it's in good hands with Kathy, and she's going to put her own stamp on this as she moves it forward. You know, we
Yes,
all have
yeah.
roles to play, and, you know, those roles can change throughout our life. And we
Yes, it
pick up
can.
where somebody left off, and we find new ways to blaze more trails.
Yes, the legacy I leave too when I'm done doing all this. And we always learn something new. And like you said many times today, and I'm gonna stop talking because I can't do it anymore. But on behalf of my mother and myself and everyone on here, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Anything last? Thoughts? Words?
I have a couple last thoughts, but I think Stacy popped off. But I wanted to also just say, Kathy, you've done a great job as this being your, I know this was your first year. You've done a wonderful job. And I hope you feel supported and loved as well in any step. And we will always be here to support you. I think this team did a great job supporting one another this year, but I hope you continually to feel supported even after Advocacy Days is over. And I hope that our relationship still maintained throughout the whole year, you know, and I hope you take a well-deserved little hiatus too. I mean, work will continually be, there will be work. I mean, we'll have more federal focus after this, but I just hope you can just breathe, like just finally just let out a big breath. And but you did a great job this year, and you had and Diana and Stacy and whomever did a great job with choosing you. You are so like Diana in so many ways, and you also put a spin on your own ways and did a great job too. You brought a lot of awesome difference to this to the CAC and us advocates and parents and families. And I know Stacy's not on, but so but I want, but I if I'm not, but I want her to know, like, she's been a rock too. She's been despite having a hard year losing her sister and her mom, she's still been steady and kept composure and still held strong. And I hope if Stacy is here, whether she's or if she knows that she's holds a lot of value. Thank you.
Thank you, Taylor. We couldn't do it I couldn't have done it without Diana. And I know Stacy appreciates all your love and support because, yeah, it's been a rough year.
Kathy, I know we're over time, but I just want to say thank you, Diana, for all your work. I know I didn't get a chance to really get to know you like I want to, but I have learned a lot, and you are so humble and gracious to everybody. You know, going into advocacy, I took a break for a while to raise my kids and do work. But thank you so much for everything that you've done. And I think a lot of you just by watching you. So thank you. And I put these glasses on mine because you always wore different glasses and I love it. Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
I couldn't find any pictures of like those times that you guys all wore like superhero costumes. I was looking for those. I couldn't find them. And I had a lot of fun stalking your Facebook page for the pictures. Diana, and your daughter helped too, but you should know that Sarah put the PowerPoint together and did a beautiful job. Yeah.
And there's one more thank you we should do. Not only did Diane do it, I know, but the host, I know I wasn't here for all of them. I apologize for that. I had my own issues I had to deal with. But Taylor, I finally got it right after all this stuff. Taylor and Tamika, wonderful job. Like you always do.
You did amazing job as a host this year. Thank you. It's been fun. You make it really easy for me.
And Taylor, I promised you I would get your name right.
And you did. You did.
Actually, the reason I got it right is my nephew's name, who has my great nephew, is Taylor.
That's cool.
That's why I remembered it was Taylor, because I just switched to little letters and stuff like that.
Thank you.
Hey, one quick thing. Taylor and Shanika, as Mike just said, you did a great job this season. If you ever wanted a third co-host, let me know. I'll put myself out there again. Just let me know if you ever want a third co-host just to have fun with. But otherwise, everything else, you guys did a wonderful job this year and things like that. So if you ever want to look for a third person, hey, put me on the list. Yes, Mike. But otherwise, great job.
There's other people that can do the third job,
Of course, but hey, put me on the list.
Thank you. Any last words?
No, but I know we're still recording.
Okay, maybe it's a good time to stop. It's okay. I think that's okay because I think Diana will want to watch this again.
No, it was great. We got a lot of
intentionally
good stuff.
We got a lot of good stuff there for Diana.